we can never seem to switch off nor leave it alone. It finds you. It's like water. It just follows you and finds you. This circus that you become involved in with the UFOs in real life, It does.
When you meet other kind of people at conferences and things like that, do you find that there's parallels with your experiences to theirs, or do they have very different?
They'll have very different ones. In some cases, you'll have a situation called Black Ops posing or waltzing. There's actually an internet site done by the Army called ARS, Army Rumour Service, where they have waltz hunters. These are professional people who go after people who claim they've been in the armed forces, and they're called waltz, as in Walter Mitty, and they do waltz hunting. It's quite funny. And so you get this scenario of spies, lies, and wannabes, whereby you'll have a guy who's Black Ops posing. He says he's Black Ops this, he's done that, he's done the other. And he doesn't know what he's talking about. But you just stay silent and smile and wave. And it reveals quite a lot if you stay quiet as to what those person's experiences are. And there'll be kind of like markers in the conversation or references that they might come up with that would mean that they're having similar experiences to yourself. So in a lot of cases, no. But in a small minority of cases, yes, that can happen, where some people are having kind of similar. There's a guy in Sweden, Carl, who used to work on aircraft, who's having interaction with UFOs who he believes are of the blonde, blue-eyed people type, the Nordics. He believes he's having interaction with them. He's been a very useful cross-correlation because he's come out. I didn't prompt him. He's just come out with a load of stuff that seems to be relevant to what I'm going through as well. So there's a parallel going on. And you will get people in groups who will quietly come up to you and say, look, this is happening, and all that kind of thing. And it draws a parallel. If you listen to the astronauts, the cosmonauts, the Russian cosmonauts, their encounters with UFOs, very interesting to look at. There are parallels because it's going on, you see, Neil. It's going on. It's the real thing.
Right. So when you talk about the Walter Mitty types, and they're claiming to be in the forces or ex-forces and things like that, these are just people you meet at a conference or an event of some kind.
Yeah, I get, believe it or not, Neil, I get Fantasists emails from people claiming to work for the government. It's bizarre, to all, but I get Fantasist emails from people claiming to work for the government. They come out with all this BS about what's going on, what isn't going on. I'm involved in this, that, and the other, and it's utter BS. It bears no resemblance to.
If you work for the government, you very rarely say what's going on.
Exactly. In fact, what is interesting, Irene, is that I was at a conference, and a very charming lady walked up to me, and she said that she worked for the government. She said she could have stood there and said what I said. However, she said she knows what getting heat is all about, and she worked in the civil service. She didn't want to say too much, but she said what concerned them very deeply. I work for a government department, she said, that investigated paranormal goings-on, she told me. And what she was concerned about, and what her team was concerned about, was cattle mutilations. It bothered them a great deal. And she said, keep up the good work, and I bid you farewell, and off she went. And that's all you'll get out of them. You'll just get the bare minimum, and even then it can be very vague.
So is that department still looking into all this then? Cattle mutilations?
Oh, it will be, Eileen. It'll be closely.
Would that be the Department of Agriculture, perhaps?
I think it would be the Air Force, personally. Right, okay. I think the RAF take a very, very keen interest in the UFO situation over the UK and its associated components, because they're the guys who've got all the imagery analysis. They've got the best intelligence gathering. They're known for their intelligence gathering.
Signets and things.
Yeah, they'll be making a very sober assessment as to, for example,